Whispers circle the palace. Stories shift like candle flames. Everyone believes they know the truth about royal hearts. But today, the familiar rhythm breaks. A new rumor spreads, sharper than any before. A princess in love, or so they say. Yet behind the gossip, beneath the noise, something far more complex stirs. And nothing about it is what it seems. Spain wakes to headlines that flicker with possibility. Denmark murmurs with curiosity. Across Europe, the question blooms like a forbidden flower. Has Princess Leonor, the future Queen of Spain, given her heart away? The world leans closer, hungry for answers. But no one truly knows where the truth begins and the fiction ends. Inside the royal walls, life unfolds in quieter tones. Leonor moves through her duties with her usual discipline, her serenity masking any hint of turmoil. But those who watch her closely notice something subtle. A warmth in her eyes during certain events. A rare softness in her smile when certain names surface. A pause in her breath during moments that feel too delicate to describe. These tiny sparks ignite the first curiosity loop. Who could possibly hold the attention of a princess raised in the shadow of destiny? Who could stand beside a future monarch without trembling beneath the crown's weight? And what might this mean for Spain's throne? Rumors swirl like evening smoke. Some speak of a childhood friend whose loyalty never wavered. Others whisper of a quiet figure from her academic life, someone far from the reach of royal formality. A few imagine a hidden romance blossoming in corridors no camera has ever seen. But each whisper leads to a deeper question. Are these stories born from truth, or simply shaped by longing for a royal love story that makes the world sigh? Leonor herself remains silent, composed, dignified. But silence, in the palace, is never empty. It invites interpretation. It fuels emotion. It opens the door to 1,000 possibilities. As she steps into public engagements, every gesture becomes an unintentional clue. When she greets dignitaries, eyes track her expressions, searching for that flicker of affection she cannot hide. When she speaks, people listen not only to her words but to the resonance beneath them. When she smiles, cameras zoom closer, trying to decipher whether her heart has already made its choice. Spain's royal family, protective by nature, feels the shift too. Queen Letizia observes her daughter with gentle concern. King Felipe watches with thoughtful restraint, weighing the responsibilities of monarchy against the fragile reality of youth. A future queen must love carefully, publicly, strategically, yet she must love as a human before she can love as a sovereign. This tension forms the next curiosity loop. What happens when the heart of a future queen moves in a direction the world does not expect? Does the monarchy adapt, or does love bend beneath tradition? Behind palace doors, the conversations grow deeper. Advisors speak in measured tones. They remind the royal family of precedent, protocol, political weight. But mothers think in different language. Fathers too. And Leonor's parents understand that duty cannot smother heart forever. Meanwhile, Europe leans in. Every event she attends becomes its own chapter. At diplomatic receptions, observers note how her gaze drifts thoughtfully when certain topics arise. At cultural ceremonies, she carries herself with grace touched by introspection, as if balancing unspoken feelings beneath the surface. And during military training sessions in Zaragoza, her intensity carries a flicker of something unnameable, something that hints at a heart in quiet conflict. The world begins to form stories from these small details. Not because they are confirmed, but because they resonate. A princess in love feels like a story people want to believe, regardless of whether it belongs to dream or reality. As the months unfold, Leonor's life becomes a tapestry woven with duty on the surface and emotion underneath. Each engagement reveals something new. Each speech carries undertones of maturity that suggest she is thinking beyond the role she was born into. Each appearance births new speculation about the identity of this mysterious figure who may or may not exist outside the collective imagination of the public. Then comes the unexpected turn. A private moment caught unintentionally by a distant camera. Leonor walking through palace gardens with a quiet expression, serene but touched by something deeper. She pauses beside a willow tree, touches its branch gently, and smiles to herself. It is a small, almost invisible gesture. But the world interprets it as confirmation. Is she thinking of someone? Is she remembering a conversation? A promise, a private connection, or is she simply savoring a moment of peace? The speculation intensifies. Analysts discuss the future of the Spanish monarchy. Commentators debate the possible impact of a personal relationship on her upcoming duties. Some fear instability, others celebrate the possibility of a love story breathing warmth into the crown. This launches the next curiosity loop. Could love strengthen Leonor's reign? Could it humanize her? Could it deepen the bond between monarch and people? And if so, why should the world fear something so natural? Inside the palace, Leonor navigates each day with both courage and restraint. She knows emotion is power. She knows rumors are wildfire. She knows the world often mistakes imagination for truth. Yet she walks with dignity through the center of it all, never confirming, never denying, allowing the storm to swirl around her without stealing her composure. A crucial moment arrives during a national event in Madrid. Leonor delivers a speech with rare vulnerability. She speaks of responsibility shaped by humanity, of leadership strengthened by personal grounding, of the future built on both tradition and heartfelt conviction. The audience hears her words and wonders, is she hinting at something deeper? Is she telling the world she has found someone who anchors her? Hours after the event, the whispers evolve again. Not with names or faces, but with possibilities that feel both tender and thrilling. The idea of the princess in love becomes not a rumor, but a metaphor for her transition into adulthood. A sign that she is stepping into her future not as a symbol, but as a woman with a full spectrum of human emotion. This emotional transformation draws people closer to her than ever before. The public feels protective of her, invested in her growth, curious about her inner world, and relieved to see that even within the strict boundaries of monarchy, her humanity remains intact. Yet the deeper question lingers. Will love help or hinder her reign? Will it challenge Spain's traditions? Or will it strengthen them with authenticity? The palace refuses to answer. Spain holds its breath. Europe leans forward. And Leonor continues to rise into her role with a balanced elegance that keeps the world guessing. As the months stretch on, the narrative evolves from rumor to reverence. People admire her ability to carry responsibility while protecting her heart. They admire her consistency, her poise, her unwavering discipline despite the emotional storm swirling around her. And slowly, something becomes clear. The story was never about confirming a romance. It was about witnessing a future queen embrace her humanity in a world that often denies royalty the right to feel deeply. Whether Leonor is in love remains a private reality, a guarded truth, a tender secret, a path only she and her closest inner circle truly understand. What the world sees is something equally powerful. A young woman learning to balance private emotion with public destiny. A future monarch whose heart beats beneath the crown. A figure who stands on the threshold of history with grace shaped by complexity. The rumors will continue. The whispers will return. The questions will reshape themselves again and again. But the truth hidden within all of it is simple. The princess is becoming a queen. And the world is watching with hope, curiosity, and admiration for the delicate balance she continues to hold. Whether love has found her or she is still walking toward it, one thing is certain. Her future is unfolding with a depth that captivates not just Spain, but generations who believe that even those born to rule deserve the right to feel the pull of the heart. And perhaps, in that quiet truth, lies the real story that matters.